Alright guys, so I'm going to try to take some shots with the PSL with the Vector LVPO that was sent to me. I don't know if you can see way back there, I have my still silhouette target set up. It's about 230 yards out. That's about the longest straight range I can get on this property. I am going to be single loading these Monarchs. I'm single loading them because they don't run very well in this rifle, and the surplus steel core armor penetrator does run really well in it, but then again that's going to destroy my target. So I'm going to be single loading these, and then hopefully I can hit this target all the way out there. Never tried going this far with this rifle, but then again I have yet to actually put an optic on this rifle that I really like. So we'll see what we can do. Oh, and I am going to be laying prone in the bed of my truck just for stability. I'm sure if I actually hit, we'll be able to hear it. Let's do about right there. Okay, closer. And you see, this rifle is not like this Monarch. I don't know what it is. I got an adjustable gas piston in it, and I got it closed all the way, and just some ammos it just will not cycle and eject properly. But the surplus stuff just fine. Okay, so let's see here. Let's go more holdover. Let's go right there. Oh, we got a hit. So I think I know my holdover now. Now also keep in mind, this rifle is not a sniper rifle despite what video games make you think. Neither is the Dragunov, the SVD. These are meant to be designated marksman rifle to extend the effective range of a squad, and usually these are good for about 600 yards. AK Operators Union has gotten his all the way up to like 850 reliably and accurately, but he's played around a lot with his. Not sure. They could be ammo. Also, just isn't very accurate. Without a spotter, it's kind of hard to see where these are hitting. That one went low. Some of these maybe hits and I just can't hear the clunk through the ear pro at that range. I think that one was a hit. Sure looked like a hit. Personally, I would prefer more zoom at this range. But you know, it is what it is. Ugh. My biggest issue is how high these rings are and the scope mount is for this optic. I can't really get a cheek weld on it. And then also, these things do not have good triggers at all. I think some of these, the elevation is right, but I'm off on the windage. These last two, I'm gonna keep that hold that I got that first hit on. I'm gonna kind of shoot to each side. Oh, I have 3 left. I think it's the ammo, because I'm keeping the same holdover, and I got some that are definitely hitting low, and some I don't know where they're going. Oh, son of a bitch, I thought. I don't know, that or I'm gonna have to review the video, see if I can hear the clunks. I'm thinking more of these are hits than I'm thinking, but I don't know. I'm gonna try to freehand it. If you haven't noticed, it's still kind of warm here in South Texas, even for October. Okay. Definitely went over. Oh, I'm pretty sure that one was a hit. And I'm pretty sure that was a hit too. All right, let's drive on back there and we'll take a look and see. I'm suspecting more of those were hits than I think. I think some of the ones that I thought were hitting just low were all actually hits. But let's go take a look. All right. So I'll have to review the footage to really know for sure how many of these I hit. I know for sure I hit the this one because I flipped it. Not sure which hit it is. Probably this one right here looks freshest. I do see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 that look pretty fresh. And I do see extra spalding. I do see some spalding down here on the frame, which wasn't here on it. And back here, let's see. Trying to look on the ground to see if I can tell if it looks like so yeah, okay, so right here, piece of lead, so that's definitely from deflected down. So I think I hit it more than I thought. I think every time I kept seeing a puff of dirt like right around here, and I was thinking that it was hitting low and to the left. I think I was actually hitting these on the left hand side, and it was deflecting down here. Because this stand is brand new, and so it's this 2x4, and yesterday I only shot 9mm Makarov at it, and some 223. So it didn't have any of this spalding down here on the frame itself, so that's all new. And some of this lower stuff down here is definitely new. Some of this was here already, but yeah, I'm thinking so looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9 out of that box I hit, out of the ones once I found that holdover. So I think I just was assuming those puffs were a miss because they were thick puffs, but then again, 760x54R has got a lot of energy. It's sitting down range, so that's a lot of dust it would kick up when this stuff deflects down. And this is at an angle, so it is deflecting a lot of this straight down. So, and from my shooting position, it is also slightly angled that way. So anything hitting would hit and deflect down into the left of the target. So I'm assuming, and it looks like I may have even hit one right here on this, but it didn't move it. I won't know for sure until I go back and review the footage and see if I can hear more of those clinks. I know the very first one I hit, I for sure heard it, and I think I heard it a couple more times, but I had the ear pro on and I really couldn't hear. So this boom mic really should be able to pick that up. So I'll do a table, see y'all back at the tabletop for the optic. Alright, so we're doing the same setup as last time with the PSL, but instead this time I'm using my Galil with my railed top cover and front sight removed with the Vector Constantine. So same setup as last time. I got that still about 233 yards out there, way down there. And I'm going to see what kind of groupings I can get or hits I can get with the Constantine. Mind you, right now the Constantine is, like I said last time, on this rifle only sighted in to about 100 something, not even 100 yards, but like 68 yards. The laser bore sight I have that works with this rifle isn't very bright, so in the daylight it's hard for me to get any long ranges. I'm going to get a different bore sight for it to try to stretch that out a little bit more so I can get better bore sight in. I was hoping to get 100 yards to bore sight somewhere, but I couldn't, so let's see what we can do. Oh, another thing also, on this Galil, I did cut and re-weld my charging handle at a different angle. I know, sacrilege, but I really wanted to run an optic on this Galil, and the 90-degree angle straight up that the original charging handle was just would not work with almost any optics. So even that other LVPO that I had was scraping the mount a little bit. So this completely clears everything. It's at like a 45-degree angle off to the right, so it is what it is. Bipod's a little high for this. I just don't know where it's hitting. Oh, there we go. There we go. Bipod is a little lower. got it figured out for a little bit there, and then I lost my holdover when I had to readjust. And I tell you what, my biggest complaint about the Galil is just how high that bipod is. That bipod is, if you're prone like that, it's just too high. If I had the tailgate up and I was using the tailgate as a rest, I probably would have been a little bit more comfortable and probably been able to hit a little better. But I'm trying to think of, because if you're in a trench and you got that bipod up and you're up in the trench and you got it up on top of the trench, that's going to be too high. Prone is a little too high. I'm trying to figure out just exactly what type of situation a bipod quite that long is needed for. I don't know. Anyways. So once again, I have to review the footage just to be able to hear how many of these were hits. I know about 3/4 of the way through the mag I was making hits. That's fresh, that's fresh, that's fresh, that's fresh. That's fresh, that's fresh. Can't tell, I've been doing a lot of shooting with 223 today, so I know for sure those two right there are fresh, for sure. And that's fresh. And then that's fresh. That's the one that knocked it open. So, as far as the accuracy goes, none of that's the fault of the optic or the rifle itself. Like I said, I only had it sighted in, laser sighted in, to about 68 yards, maybe less. And that's why it took me a while to find my holdover where it needs to hit. For me, at that range, 200 yards and above, I want a little bit more zoom. The saying is, aim small, miss small. So, if you're able to be zoomed in a lot more, and say this target is almost your entire screen on your scope, then obviously, when you do miss, you're going to be missing by less. If your scope is sighted in properly. So the Galil in 223 definitely will reach out, 500 yards, no problem. Like I said, this is 233 yards. This one here still smacks with enough energy to knock that plate around like that. And this plate probably weighs 4 or 5 pounds, so it still had enough energy to do that. So if you have the right setup on the Galil, the way I have set up better scope on it, taking an animal at 200 some yards, once you got it dialed in, not a problem. The Constantine, not a problem. Inside 100 yards is why I would feel most comfortable with that scope. That's me personally. Like I said, I like more zoom at longer distances. 10x is kind of low for me for shooting at 233 yards. And I know there's lots of guys on YouTube that are shooting 600 yards with a 10x or less, or I've seen people do 600 yards with iron sights, and that's not me. I'm not that good of a shot. I'm proficient within 100 yards iron sights, and if I got a scope set up, that's fine. My AR with my ATN night vision scope, y'all have seen the videos. I put headshots at the at range that I'm hunting all day long. That scope at 200 yards, I probably could very easily hit this no problem, because I'd be able to set change my elevation, all that stuff and whatnot. But anyways, I'm not gonna stay out here tonight. It's a little warm. It's only supposed to get cool down to like the 70s. I'm not gonna hunt. There's a big boar that I got coming on my camera, but I want to try to take him if he shows up when I have help here and it's a little cooler and I don't have to, in the middle of the night in its 70s, drag it back to camp and immediately clean it right then and there. So, I'm gonna head on back. Alright, so we're taking a close-up look at the Constantine, the 1 through 10, through Vector Optics. Full disclosure, Vector did send me this scope to do a review on. I am currently working on trying to become one of their optics reviewers. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep the scope not, if I'm sending it back. That remains to be seen. See right here, I have an older Cabela's AR LVPO as well. This one I believe is only a 1 through 6 by 24. So, you know, quite a bit different in zoom, but if you look at the size here, the Constantine is only a little bit bigger than the Cabela's one. So, you know, not a huge difference there as far as size goes. Weight, I'm not going to weigh in, but, you know, the Constantine is heavier. As far as the specs go on the website, let me see here if they have a weight on it. 18.6 ounces, so a little over a pound. It's not super heavy. If you got a lightweight build, then yeah, you know, this is gonna add some weight. But if you've got a heavy build, you're already not caring about weight, then I wouldn't worry about it too much. So, first of all, this is a second focal plane optic, which, you know, I really don't have too much of an opinion between first and second focal plane optics as far as LVPOs go, but, you know, some people do. The way the reticle is on this one here, which I'll post some pictures up here, it really doesn't change a whole lot to me. The way it's set up, you have the same size reticle all the way through all your zoom, so it's fine with that. The other way around, you can have other stuff on your reticle that only are visible when you zoom in a lot. So you can have like at 1 power, you can have a battle reticle, but then if you're trying to zoom all the way in to make some shots, then you can get some hashes in there as well. The illumination on this is day bright. I'll post a picture. It's brighter than it looks in the picture. So let's go over a couple things. Start off things that I dislike about the scope. So first of all, it being is it a 30 or is it a 34 millimeter? The tube. I want to say, I thought it was a 30 millimeter tube. Yeah, it's a 30 millimeter tube, which means none of my current rings fit. They did supply these rings with it, and it did come in a very nice packaged box. I'll show you the pictures here in a second. You got, you know, your clean cloth, all your basic stuff, and they also sent this cool little poker chip, which is a you know, a discount code. Yeah, so, you know, that's kind of cool. So, you know, it came with little extras, very well packed for, you know, the price range. And right now, currently, these are on sale through their website for $383, down from $479. So, you know, not a bad price considering the options you get on it for a 10 power variable optic. So, one of the other things I didn't like about it is the set screws here, or the nuts. The metal seems kind of soft, softer than I would like. Of course, they put the holes in here so you can get an Allen wrench in there to tighten it down. But as you can see, as I've been, you know, swapping this between guns and tightening it down and whatnot, I actually marred the inside of these a little bit because how soft the metal is. So that's my biggest complaints on it so far. It does have a removable handle for the zoom, so you could change that out to a different type of knob if you wanted to. Unlike, you know, on this one here, it doesn't have it at all, but it is very nice knurled. Now the brightness on it is really nice. Now it does come with another cap for that you can put on either your elevation or your windage that is bigger. It has some more grip on it, and it replaces the cap. So if you like say you have your elevation on it, you wanted to be able to make your elevation on the run, you could do that. Now this is a half inch click, which preferably I like 1/4 inch clicks or less, you know. But you can, you know, zero it, take it off, reset your knob down to 0, and put it back in for your 0, so you can adjust it like that. Now in the reticle, you do have a rangefinder in it as well, which you know, it's kind of a neat function. You don't see that too much in commercial optics today, so that's kind of a neat little thing that they added in there. Now it is built very well. It does come with these caps. The only thing as far as quality is this ring here doesn't, you know, seems to spin on its own, and I guess it's the focus. You know, I've never had one where the whole section right here turns. Normally it's just right there that turns. So but it doesn't seem to affect the focus too much to me, so I've just had it turned down tight to where it sits tight, and you know, that's where I've left it. I'm gonna see if I can maybe get a good view here through the optic. See, it's on, currently it's on 10. So this is always so hard to do. I need to get me a can't do it. I need to get me a scope cam, just so it's easy for me to show stuff like that. But man, they're expensive. But so far, I mean, it holds up very well. I've yet to actually be able to, as you've seen, properly sight this thing in with either of the two rifles I put it on. For long range shooting, because the way my eyes are, I do like a more zoom. 10x for me is 100 yards max. 200 yards, if I had the thing properly sighted in, I could, you know, hit with it no problem. But, you know, ammo's really expensive right now, and it's hard to just really justify spending a bunch of ammo just for an optic that you're doing a temporary review on that you're not really keeping or plan on keeping on a specific rifle. I do fully plan on putting this back on the Galil. But you know, it's one of those things where I used my laser bore sight. I was able to get about 68 yards on the 0 with the laser bore sight, and that was enough for me to get some hits, but not enough to where I can comfortably say, yeah, I'm going to reach out with it. I am going to be making some effort to set up a proper 100-yard sight in over at the ranch when I do go out there, so when the light gets a little dimmer, I can actually sight in laser bore with a, you know, at 100 yards, and then do a fine tune with a couple shots. It's just something, you know, ammo is just expensive right now, and of course, you know, I'm not monetized, so everything's coming out of my pocket from when I'm doing these videos like this. Now, the illumination on this scope is very, like I said, it's very bright. You got green, actually I think it's only red on this one. It's only red on this one, but it does its job. It's daylight bright. You can see it just fine. Now, the purpose on this optic here, I would recommend this one more towards a DMR build, as opposed to, like, say, a super long range shooter build. So for me, with having that 1X, makes it really good for close quarters. That's great. The 10 power, you can reach out there far enough, and there are better shooters out there that could reach us out, you know, way past 400. I'm sure if I put this on one of my bolt guns, I'm sure I could, you know, reach out much further with it properly sighted in. If I have a little bit more time with this, I might put it on a bolt gun, but the scope that's on my 700 is sighted in, so man, I really don't want to take it off. But then again, you know, you never know. If I end up keeping this optic, which I'm not sure if I am or am not yet, because it does have rangefinder, it might go on something that can reach out a little bit further. I'm not sure exactly what it would go on yet. it might go on my 450 Bushmaster. Well, we'll have to see. Because I think that this would pair really well with that. Being able to have that one power for close range shots would be great. And then, 10X is more than enough than 450 is capable of doing. So 200 yard shots with 450 this year will definitely do the trick. So if I end up keeping this thing, if they let me keep it, I don't know what the specifications is on that. They haven't told me whether they want me to send it back or not. So I'll end up if I keep it, it might end up on the Bushmaster. As far as construction goes, it is made very well, and you can see it is serialized. Normally the cheaper scopes aren't serialized. I mean, I don't even think this Cabela's one's not even serialized. Now these are produced in China, of course. There's hardly anything that's not produced in China these days, but it is very well produced. It's got very clear glass. It's on par with some higher end scopes. See, I've got I think I got a Leopold that actually has less clear glass than this. But it's for the price, it's a really good optic. I would just pick and choose what you're going to use it on and how you're going to use it. It held up to the recoil just fine on the PSL. Didn't lose whatever zero that it had. The accuracy issues that you've seen in the videos were all solely the fact that I didn't have this properly sighted in. And then, of course, on the PSL end, that could have been just the poor ammo. It could have been a lot of stuff. And then also on the Galil side, it could have just been that high bipod. I wish I would have did that just using the tailgate as a rest, because that would have made it a lot easier and more comfortable for me. And I probably would have been more consistent. But anyways, if you're looking for something, in the $300-400 range, these are really high quality for the price. And there are certainly optics out there in the LPPO range that have less features than this one does for a lot more of the price. I mean, certainly, there's a lot out there that are kind of expensive, and they don't give you a whole lot more. Anyways, if I have any more updates on this, I'll fill y'all in. I'll probably make shorts on updates. I think what I'm going to do from here on out, whenever I do a video and I revisit that topic later on, it's probably going to be just as a short. They're easier for me to produce, put together. I can do them on the fly. Say if I'm out in the field or something like that, and I'm like, oh hey, this gun, this is a new issue or new thing. I'm going to go ahead and do a quick short on it as an update on it. If I end up keeping this, it'll probably be the same thing as with this Vector, and we'll see from there. It's up in the air whether they're going to be sending me anything else. I kind of hope they do. They got some other products I would like to try. But if y'all have any questions down in the comments, if I didn't answer in the video, please comment, ask me, and I'll let you know, what I figured out specifically on that regarding your comment or your question. So, y'all have a good one.